Future viewers, this time the game has done something very discourteous. It has decided one member of my party for me out of 12, even though I already had my final team assembled. In particular, I had to replace my centaur with a less good centaur. Also, forests and hills. Fortunately, on the right side, where it's the worst, I can send people who mostly ignore these things. They do not, however, mostly ignore poison, and this is where I discovered that worms could even inflict poison. Fortunately, it is not a big deal. This, however, would be a big deal if the enemy had any follow-up on it. Always have follow-up. But due to the constricting nature of the map, I couldn't really maintain Shining Force formation all over the place. Also, Sig is still not great at dealing damage, but, you know, sometimes luck just goes your way, so it's alright. Also, although their initial attacks are not too bad, once Gargoyle moves in, I have to beat it quickly because they will fly around and cast spells at whoever's weakest, and, well, anyway, problem solved. Because Nick deals very strong damage and now has some new versatility. And, well, our Berserker, Gian, that's how I'm going to pronounce him, whether it's right or wrong, he's finally sort of catching up to everyone stat-wise. So that's pretty good. I also gave him a running pimento to give him 7 move instead of 5, so that's going to be pretty helpful. Gargoyle number 2, I managed to distract that one with someone who had not taken damage yet, but the pixies on the further to the left are causing more problems, and yeah, this map overall, especially on the left side, gives lots of flying enemies and otherwise mobile enemies that can cause trouble. You have to deal with them quickly and they'll still probably get the first strike, so there's some pressure there. But Stalk deals huge damage, for one. I was still a little surprised by that. And on the other side of things, I tried to do some better damage with Mayfair by equipping a cursed thing. So there's good news and bad news to that. The good news is that the Demon Rod actually does deal a whole lot of damage. I mean, this is a very tanky unit in 30% terrain, and I still dealt a pretty good chunk of damage. The downside, we'll see later. Now, I do not want any of the enemy's tanky units to be healed, and wow, yes. So it turns out that the critical sword can deal critical hits sometimes. And hey, it's a good thing I pulled that off because I would not want the enemy to use that healing rain, let me tell you. Now, relying on Blaze level 2 at this point in the game is a bit, a little unfortunate. And she's still refusing to learn Blaze 3 long after Yisha, the non-Blaze specialist, picked it up. I don't know. And yeah, so Mayfair is doing pretty well for herself with that Demon Rod. And that heat axe that I got last mission also turned out to be handy because it can be used to attack multiple enemies. It can be used to attack multiple enemies when Roos can't find a spot next to him, like in this case. So pretty nice to have. Right, Mayfair probably would be able to finish off that Minotaur, maybe. Except that happens. And that's why you gotta be careful about equipping curse things, especially on a healer, which is what I did. But managed to finish off the Minotaur anyway, and by the way, removing that curse costs a huge chunk of gold, like about what I get from beating 6 enemies, so I'm gonna be more careful about equipping that thing later. Oh, There's a legend about us? Really? Well, never mind, it's probably not important. We got another new party member who we will probably not use unless he's forced on us for the next map. And oh, yeah. Killing prisoners of war is a thing bad guys do, I guess. That's fairly dark for this game. Okay, but hey, we're the heroes. We're gonna put a stop to it. We'll see how that goes next time. See you then.